Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with the showing of many of the African leagues in Iraq. No, the Transjordan leagues, not... You know what I meant. We are now on to German atrocities in occupied Poland. May 1941. Reign of the Terror in Poland. Sparking to an American audience on May 9th, or speaking, my bad. Speaking to an American audience on May 9th, Lord Halifax, the British ambassador to Washington, told how the German atrocities, the German authorities of the general government, the occupied area of Poland, were subjecting the conquered population to a new wave of terror. More than 40,000 Poles, he said, had in all probably been murdered. No, in all probability, been murdered during the few months preceding, and Polish villages were the daily scene of mass floggings and terror reprisals of every kind. These pictures of scenes that were typical of many show. Below left, Polish civilian. Here, I'll actually just show you. Below left, Polish civilians digging graves for their fellow countrymen whose bodies lie beside them. Which, yeah, they did this quite often, basically digging your own graves and the graves of your fallen. Awful what they did to them. Beside them. Right, the hanging bodies of two Poles who have fallen foul to the occupying forces. And I will say I'm sorry for anyone that's a little squeamish. But yeah, there is, obviously, we're talking about the Second World War. And this is going to be very hard topics, I'm sure, for many people. Right, above right, Polish prisoners facing a firing squad. And then left, men on their way. Or no, this is the firing squad, my bad. This is men facing the firing squad. And this is men on their way to the execution. Awful. Awful what the Germans did to these people. The atrocities committed in the Second World War on both sides are awful and unexcusable. This is supposed to be war, not mass murder. And yes, there is a difference. War done for certain causes is not mass murder, but in this case, they decided mass murder was their best objective, which is deplorable. House of Commons in City of London damaged in air raid. May 10th, 11th, 1941. London's severest air raid. On the full moon night of May 10th, after an almost raid-free 3 weeks, London endured an intense air attack lasting for several hours, resulting in many casualties and heavy destruction. Vast numbers of incendiaries were dropped, as well as high explosive bombs, and among the killed were the mayors of 2 London boroughs. The Houses of Parliament were severely damaged, the Commons debating chamber being wrecked, but the Commons met the following morning in a building which had been prepared for such an emergency. Westminster Abbey and the British Museum and many commercial offices and private houses in the city and suburbs, as well as 5 hospitals, churches, and other public buildings were hit or burnt during the raid. 33 enemy planes were brought down, the largest number ever secured in night fighting over England. Left, Mr. Churchill inspecting the ruins of Parliament. Above, a view from Ludgate Circus, looking towards St. Paul's the morning after. So there we see Mr. Winston Churchill inspecting damage over the ruins of Parliament. And here we see on the right a view from Ludgate Circus looking towards St. Paul, which St. Paul, it's still standing. It's had many, many attacks on it and around it, but the fact that this building is still standing is a testament to its engineering and the myths of the Germans, really. But more historic London buildings battered by the German raider bombers. May 10th through 11th, 1941. May raid damage in London. These pictures show some of the results of the Great Air Raid on May 10th. Top here, and I will go from picture to picture. I'll do my best to help show this. Top left, the famous bells of St. Clement Danes Strand, celebrated in nursery rhymes, being moved to safety. The church was reduced to a shell in a previous raid. Center here. Center, firemen at work at work in Pilgrim Street, close to St. Paul's on the morning of the raid. Right? So this building right here, or these buildings, I should say. Right, Crown Office Row, in the temple where most of the buildings, including the world-famous, renowned Norman Temple Church, suffered severely. Bottom left, results of a bomb that fell in the Central Criminal Court, Old Bailey. Center picture here. Damaged cloisters at Westminster Abbey, and then right, the wrecked interior of Westminster Upper School, once the monks' dormitory, where the traditional ceremony of tossing the pancake took place. Now, I don't know what that is, so somebody in the comments tell me what tossing the pancake is. But yeah, just look at these historic buildings and structures just absolutely destroyed. It's just awful. Ooh, is that? Oh, I'm missing a corner here. That's unfortunate. British night fighters take the measures of the German raiders. Britain's secret weapon proves its worth. But also, it's May 1941. During April, night fighters of the RAF began to take serious toll of the German bombers. And by the end of the month, they had accounted... Oh, whoops. I gotta make sure that you guys can all read this, if you want. They had accounted for 50 out of a record total of... I'll just go like this. 88 destroyed. These figures, however, were soon to be beaten. And on May 4th, 13 of the enemy fell to their guns. 3 nights later, they destroyed a further 24. But on May 11th, they broke all records by shooting down a grand total of 33. The increase in night fighter kills was largely due to radiolocation, Britain's secret weapon, which, by the spring of 1941, had reached such a state of perfection that raiding by night became very risky business for the German bombers. The pictures show, top left, WAAF girls in a subterranean operations room plotting the courses of enemy aircraft on a huge map. So yeah, we can see them. We got this huge table map, basically, and they're plotting all the enemy locations and where they're moving to. Yeah. Bottom left, these guys right here. Night fighter pilots walking to their machines before taking off. See all those men? Look at that guy's mustache. He's got a sick mustache. Let's see. Yep, right above, a Hurricane night fighter, and that's all it is, the Hurricane night fighter. And then below, A Blenheim night fighter about to set off for patrol. And yeah, radar, obviously, as they put it, radio location. Basically, the reason the Brits win, there is actually a huge propaganda war that gets set out by Britain, and it's something that actually affects us today. I'm sure many of you have heard of the thing, oh, if you eat carrots, it's good for your eyes. And they do help with vision, but they're not as good as they claim. And where this comes from, it comes from the British during the Second World War, because the Germans were very suspicious as to how they were so good at shooting at night and things like that. Well, they made a joke, I think, on the BBC or something along those lines that was basically, oh, well, it's because the British pilots eat a lot of carrots. And that's not what made them good at night. They just couldn't let the Germans know that it was because of radar. But yeah, and obviously then that myth permeates to today, and the rest is history. Well, alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really helps out the channel more than you guys can know. Thank you.